It's Coastline Kids Online. Hello, I'm Michael and I am the children's pastor at Coastline, and we are looking at passages from Jesus' life that involve food or drink all this term in the Great Bible Bake Off. It's great fun. This week is Water Week, and it is all about the time Jesus asked a woman at a well for a drink. Here's what our bakers made in the Bake Off test.
Okay, Judas, show me your bake.
Here you go.
That's just a cup of water. What's the structure element?
The cup.
Well then what about the bake? Water, I guess. It's not even clear water. Is this clean?
Well, I prefer bottled water, but it's like well water would taste. It's from the puddle outside.
Oh, no.
It was as Dan spat out the water that I realised what I'd done. I forgot to add the icing. I'd forgotten the baking part. It's a baking show, and I'd forgotten to provide any actual food. I got so caught up in the structure making.
Peter, show us what you've made.
Right, well, it's a water pumping system, but it doesn't really work. And also, I don't know how to say this. I've forgotten to add my bake to it.
So you made me a crummy structure that didn't work, and no food either.
Unfortunately, yes. It's so embarrassing. One good week last week and it's all undone with my worst one yet.
John, I hope you actually made me something decent.
Yeah, me too. Here we go.
Well, it really is a beautiful well. Let me try some of the jelly though. Oh, it's not really set very well. Let me try it though. Could have done with a little longer in the fridge. That's still very nice though. Delicious. Well done, John.
Phew. Bakers, what a week! And as I'm sure you can tell, as the week goes on, the competition does get tougher. You guys were struggling a bit this week, but you've done really well. Now, I can announce that today's star baker is... He's back on top. It's John. Woohoo! I'm back!
Quite a disappointing week. None of them were perfect, but at least John actually served me something edible, even if it wasn't fully set.
You can, as always, watch the full version of that video on the Coastline Kids YouTube channel. That's right here. Right now, give it a go. Over to Joss now to tell us more about this Samaritan woman.
Hey, Coastline Kids. It's good to be here with you. Okay, so I want to ask you a question. Is there a place that you find a bit scary? There's one place near our home that I always try to avoid. It's an underground walkway, and it's much quicker and safer than having to cross several traffic lights. But I find it scary down there. It smells horrible. Ooh. And there are lots of ugly pictures on the walls, and your footsteps echo in the tunnels. And I keep thinking there's giants about to jump out at me. Oh, I don't mind going down there if I'm with friends, but on my own, I'd rather go the long way round and risk being run over than go down there. Well, that's how Jesus' disciples felt when Jesus wants to walk through a country called Samaria. There it is on the map. The Jews lived in the red bit, that's called Judea, and in the green bit, which is called Galilee. So Samaria is right in the middle. So what was so scary about Samaria? Jews and Samaritans both believed in the same God. That's the same as our God too, but they believed in different ways. And in the past, the Jews had attacked and destroyed the Samaritans' temple. And the Samaritans had supported an army that was attacking the Jews. So feelings between the two countries were really bad. Jews would never eat or drink with or even talk to Samaritans. They always avoided going into Samaria if they could, as it was too dangerous. They took the big, well-guarded, you can see the golden bit going up there, Roman road. It meant crossing the river twice, once to get up and then back over again. And it was a lot longer to get to Galilee, but safe. And Jesus has been on it many times before. But now here's Jesus wanting to go up this narrow track from Judea up through Samaria. Now, of course, Jesus' disciples didn't want to go that way at all. They wanted to stay on the safe road and just take a bit longer getting there. And so they tried to persuade Jesus to not go there. They were saying things like, it's too dangerous, I'm frightened, I don't want to get hurt. What about my family? And Jesus was saying, don't worry, trust me. I never said that following me would be safe. And in the end, of course, Jesus wins. The Bible tells us that he needed to go via Samaria. Now that is odd. What on earth could Jesus need in Samaria? That's a big mystery and the disciples don't understand Jesus at all. But they follow him into Samaria. When they get there, the disciples tell Jesus that they haven't got enough food. So Jesus sends them all off to get food and he won't let any of them stay with him. He waits alone by a well. Houses didn't have running water then, and the women collected all the water they wanted and needed for the day in the morning at the well. The well was deep and they put the bucket down and drew up the water and poured it into their pots. And they did it before the day got really hot. At the moment, the well is deserted, except for a few travellers. It's not a safe place for Jews to be, but Jesus waits. Then along comes a woman, all on her own to get water. It's midday and it's really hot. Why didn't she come earlier with the others? She's made such a big mess of her life that other people won't have anything to do with her. That's her whole village. They don't want to know her. And that's why she's at the well now when no one else is there. She's very hot. Phew. And she's very miserable and she ignores Jesus. She doesn't expect him to talk to her because Jews don't talk to Samaritans. Now, notice how rude she is to Jesus and see how he reacts to her rudeness.
Oh, I'm so thirsty. Would you give me a drink?
How come you, a Jew, are asking me, a Samaritan woman, for a drink?
Oh, if you knew the gift God has for you and who you are speaking to, you would have asked me and I would have given you living water.
Sir, you don't even have a bucket. And this well is deep, so how are you going to get this living water? And besides, do you think you're greater than our ancestor Jacob, who gave us this well? How can your water be better than his?
Everyone who drinks this water will get thirsty again and again and again. But those who drink the water that I give will never thirst again, ever. The water that I shall give will become a fountain inside of them, springing up forever and ever.
Well, give me this water, so I won't ever get thirsty and never have to come to this well again.
Okay, right, go and call your husband and then come back.
I don't have a husband.
I know. You've had 5 husbands, and the man you're living with now is not your husband. You've told the truth.
I see you're a prophet.
Then Jesus tells her more about the painful bits of her life, the bits she doesn't want to look at, and he encourages her to bring it all out into the open, which means she can be free from the past instead of it sitting there in her. Then he pours into her his living water. And at the end, Jesus tells her that he is the one they have been waiting for.
I am he. I am the Messiah.
I'm going to tell everyone I know. He is the Messiah. He is the Messiah.
She even forgets her water pot and bucket and leaves them there. What a different woman she is now. Did you notice how rude and impatient the woman was to Jesus at first? But Jesus doesn't get angry back. He doesn't do that. He also doesn't ignore her and walk away like everyone else from her village does. He's patient and he stays with her. He lets her know that she is important to him. And then finally, when she starts to trust him and wants to know more about this living water, Jesus helps her to look at the dark bits of her life. He asks her to bring her husband. Now, it was hard for her to tell Jesus the truth that she didn't have a husband, but she did tell him the truth. And the truth is so important. It meant that Jesus could help her get rid of all of those things that were holding her back and stopping her being the person that Jesus knew she could be. And once all this was out, Jesus could pour his living water in. And the woman's life changed. Yay! Do you know, it's the same for us. We've all got weights and lies and hurts that we've collected and don't want to look at because they're too painful. I'm going to share some things from my life and my friends. There was one friend I had who kept wetting herself as she was growing up. She got really embarrassed. It's quite a common problem for children, but she thought it was only her who had a problem. She felt so ashamed about it. It was a real weight for her, like this stone. That stone, she gradually got completely better and forgot about it, but she still carried the stone about with her, a stone of shame. It's not that heavy, so I couldn't manage my life. Now, when I first went to school, I was very shy. And I remember standing at the top of these big stairs, watching my mum go down them and leave me there. I cried and cried, oh, and I shouted to her, "Don't go away, come back." But she went on, she walked away. I didn't know whether she was coming back. I didn't know, does she really love me? The thought that I wasn't worth loving was a weight inside of me. A weight like this stone. And it went into the bag. And next, I was told off for something I didn't do and I was beaten for it, and it was so unfair. No one believed me. And that hurt inside of me became another stone. Oh, this bag's getting a bit heavier now. Oh dear. Well, it's still not too bad. I can still move around a bit and it's okay. At school, one lunchtime after lunch, I was walking around with my friends and I started watching some boys playing football. I got really involved. Yeah, go on, kick it. Oh yes, go. I was so excited. But when I turned round, my friends had run off and were laughing at me and making faces. And in front of everyone were shouting how stupid I was. I was so embarrassed. I wanted the earth to open up so I could just disappear. Oh, I felt that somehow I was different to my friends and not good enough. And I started to learn that I couldn't trust friends. There are so many things that can happen to us that make us feel not good enough, and they weigh us down. Another stone. Oh, yes, that's definitely heavier. When I was a kid, I was always at or near the bottom of the class. And in those days, you knew who was at the bottom of the class because the bottom of the class person sat there at the front and the top of the class person sat right at the back, right on the other side of the room. And I was always there. And it made me feel that I wasn't very clever. And I picked up another stone. I have a very high forehead. I don't know if you can see it. It sticks out a long way. And when I was a kid, my mum always pinned my hair back, which made it look even bigger. Look at the photograph of me. None of my friends had a forehead like mine. So I didn't feel normal. It made me feel ugly and different. I wasn't. You can see from the photo, I'm not ugly at all. But I believed the lie. And often we have something we don't like about how we look in some part of our body. An ugly stone, a big ugly stone goes in. Oh, all these stones make me feel bad inside. Oh dear, I'm way down. I need help. Oh, remember, these stones from the past are weights that are inside of me. So who's the only one who can help me? Yes, Jesus! Let's shout Jesus' name together, really loud, after 3. 1, 2, 3. Jesus! Yes, that was good and loud, wasn't it? Okay, but I think, that you could do it just a bit louder. I know I can't hear you because we're on the video, but let's see if we can just do it a little bit louder this time, okay? Are you ready? Shouting for Jesus. 1, 2, 3. Jesus! Yes. Wonderful. Perhaps you have a problem in your life that is similar to the problems I had. Or perhaps it's a different problem. So chat to Jesus. Ask him, Jesus, is there a weight in my life that you want to take off me today? Then be ready to catch his answer. If you have an answer, ask Jesus to take that weight off you and watch or feel him do that. Then ask him to pour his living water into you. If you didn't have an answer, that's fine. Sometimes Jesus answers us later or even much later. And if you didn't get an answer, Jesus is with you now and always. So just enjoy his company. Enjoy your day and have fun.
Thanks, Josh. Brilliant stuff as always. That is it for today, I'm afraid. It's all we've got time for. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.